travelers, and luxury destination adventurers. It's now time to enjoy the journey on Enjoy the Journey with David Hartman and guests. And now, here's David Hartman.
In the Keys.
Happy holidays from For Christmas Campground in Walt Disney World. Welcome to the Enjoy the Journey luxury travel show, live from Walt Disney World. A special welcome to Radio A1A and Cruising Country radio listeners in our A1A network media affiliates, podcast partners, and live streaming viewers around the world. I'm your host, David Hartman, owner of Fantastic Endeavors Travel Agency. Have a great show for you all about Christmas at Fort for Christmas, what I call it. Fort Wilderness Resort, and I'll tell you about our backdrop for today's broadcast, which is beautiful. And as always, like this, share it, add a comment, and have you spent the holidays at Fort Wilderness, and do you want to camp out or stay there in one of the cabins? And please follow our social media. This is live right now on YouTube, on Radio A1A and Fantastic Endeavors channels, also here on Facebook Live. And follow my Dave's Disney page for any Disney planning and Fantastic Endeavors Facebook. And we have our podcast, the Enjoy the Journey Luxury Travel Show. Search that in any major podcast network. All our podcast listeners, please catch us on the multimedia feeds because we have a lot to show you today. I'm going to show you all about Fort Wilderness and going to end showing some amazing festive campsite decorations. But first, a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back in just 3 minutes. Atlas Ocean Voyages offers smaller ships designed for luxe expeditions that extend the reach of adventure travel by sea, with their first ship launching in July 2021. Venture to small villages and remote locations, from the desert city of Petra to the frozen tundra of Antarctica. To experience Atlas Ocean Voyages, call David Hartman, 305-453-9208, Dave at bucketwishtrip.com.
You know, they may be called smartphones, but they are handled by regular folks like you and me. And we break things. Well, no more freaking out about breaking your smartphone because Keys Smartphone Repair is here. Just click or call keysmartphonerepair.com. That's keysmartphonerepair.com. keysmartphonerepair.com. It's fast, professional smartphone and tablet repair located in Tavernier, mile marker 90, keysmartphonerepair.com. Click it now and save.
The Health Genie System Checker answers 3 important questions when you are feeling ill. What is wrong with me? How ill am I? And where can I receive care? System Checker puts the information and answers at your fingertips with the most advanced triage and healthcare technologies available. Engage on a personal level in your own words to describe your symptoms with no smart trees or drop-down menus that force self-diagnosis. Health Genie System Checker provides an avenue to early healthcare engagement. Hello, David Hartman with Fantastic Endeavors. Fantastic Endeavors is a full-service travel agency based in Key Largo, Florida, specializing in custom individual and group travel. Our luxury travel advisors inspire people to answer 2 questions. What is your bucket list trip? And where do you wish you were right now? Fantastic Endeavors will personally tailor your journey to your needs. We build extraordinary, enriching experiences curated just for you. Call us today at 305-453-9208 or email at dave@bucketwishtrip.com. Enjoy the journey. Welcome back to the Enjoy the Journey Luxury Travel Show, here live from Fort Christmas in Walt Disney World at Fort Wilderness, the merriest campground on earth. It's crazy the decorations that Disney puts up, but even more impressive are the individual camper destinations. Stay tuned for the whole show. I'm going to show you some actual great footage of some amazing decorations from our time here. We spent 4 nights at Fort Wilderness this trip and are experiencing a wonderful time. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you about the recreation in the area, talk about what goes on year-round and around Christmas. Going to talk about, show you different campsite types if you want to camp, and we actually have exclusively brand new, because we're staying in one to round out our trip, a Fort Wilderness cabin I keep talking about. And as I'll go through all category types. I'll first start with a brief history of the fort. I talked a lot about that in my Halloween show. Check that out on Fantastic Endeavors and my Enjoy the Journey playlist feed for all of my shows. So the fort. Well, first off, where are we right now? We're actually adjacent to Fort Wilderness in Wilderness Lodge Villas, Boulder Ridge Villas, because the backdrop here is amazing. It's a quiet area and they have the best Wi-Fi connection. The fort is pretty spread out, 750 acres, not so big. So we are in that rustic theme, but we're just adjacent to the fort, where we'll be back staying tonight in our Fort Wilderness cabin. This is the Carrollwood Pacific Room, and behind me and right over here are actually trains that Walt used on his own Carrollwood Pacific train he built in his backyard, getting inspired for building a Disneyland back in the late 40s, early 50s. And they saved some of the trains. Some are in his museum in San Francisco, and some are here in this room, which you can check out for yourself. Okay, so let me give you a map of Fort Wilderness to show you, which I didn't have last time, so this will be good. So the fort is 750 acres, a Walt Disney World original, built and opened 1971, soon after Disneyland, which was October 1st, 71. This was November 19th or so, because they had cast members staying there and they're still finishing up all the fort. It has grown from 232 campsites to a big expansion in the 70s to then 850 campsites, and then they started adding different ways to stay there. First they added Airstream trailers, just rented, it was already sitting there. Then Fleetwood sponsored that kind of lodging partnership. Then they had these rustic cabins that you pulled up to and put your wares in and stay there if you wanted to. Then they added Wilderness Homes, and that's what the sign says till today. It was for the campsites and Wilderness Homes. Those were upgraded in the 90s to the current Wilderness cabins, which we're going to show you tonight. So we have videos of all the major types of campsites. And all these crazy loops you see on the map, there are different types of sites. The first one is the lowest, is partial hookup, which is for tents and pop-ups. No sewage, but it has water and cable and electricity. Then you have full hookup in this map is the 1600 range on the far top. Those are bigger concrete pads, bigger sites, concrete and gravel. There's more gravel for the tents for the other sites, a little bit of concrete for your car. And those have sewer added, and those are bigger loops and bigger sites. Those are more made for your travel trailers, smaller fifth wheels, and smaller RVs. Then you have premium sites, which is a 60 by 80 foot concrete pad, no gravel, full hookup with sewer, water, cable, and electric. And that's made for your Mac Daddy RVs, Mac Daddy fifth wheels, and big travel trailers. You could rent a premium site if available as a tent camper, but you have nowhere to put your tent. It's all concrete. So, and then there's Premium Meadow, which is all based on location. And that is in this map here, the 600, 700, 800, 900 loops to 1,000, loop 1,400 in the middle, because they're close to the Meadow recreation area, which I will talk about shortly. And that's the hub of the whole area. There's also preferred campsites where we're staying, that's 100, 200, 300. Those sites are full hookup sites, little tighter sites, tighter turns. We watched a woman spend an hour trying to get her site in a tight area the other day, and some guy took out my Santa trailer, you might have saw on Facebook. In my video, you had the full trailer tonight, but he cut his corner going too fast and took out the big blow up trailer. Very unfortunate. We patched him with duct tape, and so far he's surviving. Why preferred? These are full hookup sites, no different than 1600 wing at the top of the map. And these are on the far left of this map, right on Bay Lake, because they're closest to the launch to Magic Kingdom and settlement trading outposts and the settlement area with all the main restaurants. So those are preferred by location only. They are still just full hookup sites. And there's also on the bottom right of the map are the loops for the cabins, Fort Wilderness cabins. Basically, these cabins that are, the trailers look like cabins, and they're 1 bedroom, 1 bath units, 500 square feet. Sleep 6 very comfortably, I will say, with your own parking in front for your car. All other campsites get 1 car and 1 place to stay. Any trailers, extra cars have to stay in overflow parking by reception outposts on the right of this map. That's where you check in. It is a mile from check-in on the right to Bay Lake on the left. It is over 750 acres in total of recreation campsite. One of those is a Mac Daddy campground. So those are the different categories. We're going to show you first some coverage of the recreation area. And then we're going to show you tours I did of every major campsite category, including some history. There used to be a train here in the 70s, Fort Wilderness train, because Walt loved trains, like the room we're in today, one right behind me. Train bigger than this, but could hold people, was the way to get around in the mid-70s to 80s, then became in disrepair and no one wanted to maintain it. So it is now just history. In our cabin, you'll see is a picture of the old train. And some of those cars were used in different Disney things in the past, and they're still kicking around somewhere. But I show you the old railroad grade, which you could find by Loop 700, just south. And I do start a tour of the campsite showing that, so stay tuned for that. I'll preview that before again. But the first thing I want to show you as we go back live, get rid of the map. So that's Fort Wilderness. It is a Walt Disney World original, comes with all Disney benefits, and it also has 10 people per site for the same price. You pay anywhere from, well, I'll talk about rates after I show the tours, but anywhere from, say, $125 a night for partial hookup to premium Meadow, about $220 a night. And that includes up to 10 people on your reservation and then 1 car in your unit, and then as much overflow parking as you need, no charge for parking. So next up, I want to show you the main hub that was in the center of that map, the Meadow Recreation Area. And this is where the activities are. In the tour, I go through the different activities in detail, and I'll wrap up in the end. So enjoy our tour of Fort Wilderness Meadow Recreation Area.
Hello from Fort Wilderness, David Hartman, owner of Fantastic Endeavors Travel Agency. We are here at their main recreational area in their big general store. Meadow Trading Post is their biggest general store right in the middle of the property. And it's on the Bike Barn Pond, a big loop. This is the widest part, but it's a big loop that you can go kayaking on. You see the water's a little lower here for winter time. You can fish off that platform. We've caught many a big fish, bass and catfish off that platform. That's a big feeder in the middle, the big silver thing. And then here is the bike barn we're going to walk by. We're going to give you a quick little tour of the main recreational area where you rent all kinds of things. You even go on Segways tours. We'll show off the map in the menu. And they have a whole new feature called an assay station I'm going to show you right now, where the kids can rent these little rocks and pretend they're panning for gold. They just added this last year. Pretty cool. My show here on Halloween, we had some rain. It was a live show, so I didn't give you a full tour. Now we're going to give you a better feel, better recording. Fishing at the fort. You can rent cheap fishing gear here and some worms. Best thing you're going to catch doing that is like sunnies and bluegills. The bike barn. And here you can check out all their activities. And then down at the marina, about a half mile from here, by bus or by golf cart, you can hop on some rental vehicles, rental boats. Kayak canoeing, launch right from here. I did my show right from over here on Halloween with a big Mickey pumpkin. Beautiful morning here in Fort Wilderness. So anything near here, all these sites you see in the distance, those are all campsites. And that bridge walks over. These are premium Meadow campsites, the biggest campsites for big RVs and also the most expensive because of the location close to here. It's not just about the recreation that you want to do occasionally. Some may fish every day, some may kayak every day. Rent bicycles. And then there's also other experiences you can do, like normally nightly. Infrequently now is the Chippendales sing-along. And after that, a campfire movie. That's the schedule for this week. Well, that's arts and crafts, sorry. other activities you can do here at the bike barn. And that's the schedule for the holidays right now. Normally a movie every night, normally Chip and Dale sing-along before the movie begins. But obviously due to current health restrictions, that's not happening. That will come back once this all settles down. Beautiful theater, I love it. If we come here, they added a food truck last year because they really didn't have any good food here. And it was kind of bring your own. Now they have a good food truck with excellent food and drink. And we got a Christmas tree over here. Happy holidays from the fort. And the singer plays there. It's a guy on a guitar. Plays all the famous sing-alongs. Like you'll be coming around the mountain when she comes, when she comes. And also Disney tunes. It's fun. Fire pits. You can make s'mores. Like $10, you get a monster s'mores package. There's the golf cart parking, because golf carts are required here at the fort. Have a good time. And over here they have shuffleboard and archery. And they have scheduled activities online, and also when you check in here in your campsite or cabin, as we're talking about on the show, you'll get a list of activity schedules and what's happening. My friends, we just filmed them going on trail rides. Here's the archery section. Not much happening until it actually happens. Very well done. And then here's shuffleboard. And this also is a monster picnic area, pavilions in the Meadow trading pool. The Meadow pool, which is the biggest pool on campus, has a water slide. So this is the hub of the entire campus. And that's why having a campsite close to here is the most popular and highest in demand and most expensive. So that was all the golf cart parking by those archery and shuffleboard. Over here they have a bike rack. And I'll show you a quick tour of the Meadow. Not open yet. Beautiful morning here. Meadow swimming pool. Good snack bar here. Currently one of the few eateries open. The main restaurant's not open yet. It's mostly a buffet, but find a good quick snack, good place to go. You see the water slide. See the steam off the heated pool. Great kids area. In the distance, tennis courts, pavilions, plenty of grass for your own games. And that's the Meadow area, the bike barn here in Meadow Trading Post, the key center of Fort Wilderness. This is where you want to know how to get to, where you want to be, for activities, for your shopping, and also where you want to camp if you want to pay the premium, have the bigger site, and close to everything that's going on here. Back to our save station, and now we're back to the show.
Hey, back live. Hope you enjoyed the Meadow Recreation Area tour. I covered that a little bit on my Halloween show, but it was a bit raining, so we couldn't do everything, and that was a live feed, and couldn't want to get you guys a really good view of all the activities you can do. The sing-along, as I said in the video, is not happening now, but they are doing the movies, the holiday movies, so they always change the movies for the seasons, which is fantastic. And there are some extra little things at the bike barn you can ask about for the holidays going on. Some the crafts things you said were holiday oriented. So, and the best thing we're going to talk about, as I talked about, is having a golf cart and to see all the campsite decorations. So stay tuned for that at the end of our tours. The next thing I want to cover, as I mentioned, I cover the different campsite types. I go through a tour of each one. Full hookup, again, loop, say 1600, 1700, 1900 on that map I showed you. Similar to 300, but I do show you both of those. Premium Meadow, it's the same type. I just show you a Premium Meadow versus a Premium, which is a different location. But I do show you each type, and then after that, stay tuned for an exclusive tour of Fort Wilderness Cabin. I'm staying one tonight, first time in a long time. So next up will be our campsite tours of each campsite at Fort Wilderness here on the Enjoy the Journey Luxury Travel Show. Thank you all for being here. I've seen a lot of you in the chat. Casey Tran, thanks for popping on. I'll take time to acknowledge most every people at the end, but I already try to acknowledge you on the chat so we can stay tuned to the videos. We have a lot to cover, so stay tuned. We're leading up to some serious holiday decoration viewing at Fort Wilderness here, Fort Christmas, on the Enjoy the Journey Luxury Travel Show. Next up is the campsite tours.
We're right by Loop 700 on Fort Wilderness Trail. Here's the main road. We're checking out decorations tonight, but during the day we're doing some exploration, checking out the railroad grade. There used to be a railroad here. And this is the old grade, made of gravel, and the ties are still here. And there's a few different places around the fort. You can find maps on blogs of where this grade still exists. It was in the 70s, the mid-70s they built it. Fort Wilderness opened in 1971, as I've said in the show. And this was lasted for a few years, I think till 1980. There's books you can buy about it. They're pretty phenomenal. And this is a cool, nice little walk if you want. You can walk this almost all the way down to Settlement Trading Post in Pioneer Hall, the new bike barn, the new Tricycle D Ranch. But it gets pretty thick at the end, so you have to do some bushwhack through. We're going to do a quick little walk. It does cross a nature trail where people walk their dogs. And it gets a little thick in spots here. One of the many things you could do here at Fort Wilderness. And I'm going to go up to here where the trail crosses so you know where it goes. And then this is right behind Loop 700. So to find it, if you're coming on Fort Wilderness Trail from Pioneer Hall area, going back towards Reception Outpost, it's on your right, just past the entrance to 700. Hello! And here's the nature trail, right in the middle of 700. People just walk from there. There's where the railroad grade keeps going. And that gets a little thick. With this trail, you can walk all the way around to Loop 1000. And here's one of the retention canals. You're allowed to fish in there. It's pretty shallow. But there are fish that come from a bigger pond when that's full. And the group campsite's up that way. That's a whole nother walk for another day. I was just showing you guys the railroad grade. And I'll show you this way a little bit. And that's Loop 700, premium campsites. Let's try to find one to check out for you guys. See what a premium campsite looks like. So there's always little connector trails here, ways to get around. Lots of exploring on 750 acres of pristine wilderness. So this is a premium loop. They're all divided by loops. There are different categories, as I mentioned. This is premium Meadow, close to Meadow Trading Post. That's a premium site. Here comes a rake driving by. Good. Hey, nice ride. Nice golf come by, but you can see it's made for big RVs and trailers. And it's a complete concrete pad, 60 feet by 15 feet, pretty consistent. On really areas that have no tight turns, one-way loops or big wide loops. We're in 300 preferred loop. That's pretty tight. Some guy ran over my Porcino trail this morning. He was going too fast and had his jacks out for his fifth wheel. Full hookup, water, sewer, and then electric, and even cable, but you know, not sure if anyone uses that anymore with streaming. Has a grill, has a different type of table than ours, a nicer table. So this is the best campsites around. Premium Meadow. The only difference is location. Near Meadow Trading Post and near the bike barn recreation area, near the sing-along campfire. Oh, we're gonna get ahead of this guy. Big guy coming. Back to the trail. And that's the exploration you can do around here at Fort Wilderness. Check it out. Loop 700, just south as you're going south. On the right is the railroad grade, or you can get here from that nature trail, right by the spot I showed you. David Hartman, on to the next tour. And we are here at Loop 1600 in Fort Wilderness. Fort Christmas Campground here at Walt Disney World. This is 1607, showing you what a full hookup site is like. It has a variant length of concrete pad, anywhere from 40 to 50 feet. And a variant length of ground behind it for your picnic table or maybe even a tent. So these are for the smaller campers, or a combination of tent and car, or camper and trailer. You could fit a big RV and fifth wheel here. It's a little tighter. And these are the similar setup to our loops in Preferred. Preferred just has a better location closer to Settlement Outpost and the boat to Magic Kingdom and Pioneer Hall and all that grand stuff. There's the sewer output, water, and electric they put in back now. But I did want to show you what this loop looks like. This loop's always full of decorations. If you have been around here, and we'll see you be around tonight checking it out, give you a different view. And this is a full hookup campsite. You know, the tour we showed you was premium. Premium is all concrete. This is a mixture of gravel and concrete. And again, variant lengths, and the circles are variant in degrees. Our circle is very tight. And this is Loop 1600. We're on Loop 1500, where I stayed Halloween weekend in partial hookup, the most affordable loop of campsites. This is site 1519, waiting for a new guest. As you see, beautiful cypress trees all around. This abuts a canal on two sides of the loops. And this is a very short concrete pad, a bigger gravel area for tents and pop-ups. You could put a travel trailer here. Fifth wheel, you're getting a little tight. Big RVs, no way. No sewer hookup here. Just electric and water and cable if needed. But this one has a lot of real estate in back. Our current loop doesn't have a lot of green around it. It's one disappointing piece, but a much bigger site. So this is the smallest type site, looking more towards $100 a night during holiday time, a little less, and then with promotions maybe as low as $80 a night, with all Disney benefits, that's plus taxes. And no parking fees for Fort Wilderness, I mentioned that before. And there's your power, cable, and water hookup or straight water hose. And there's two loops to this. There is Loop 2000, Loop 1500. 2000 is much bigger than this site. We're on our loop, which is full hookup preferred campsites. It just says preferred, but keep on their full hookup, not the big RV sites. And we'll show you here an example that the concrete pads can vary from 35 feet to 50 feet, depending on location and how much real estate they had to work with. This is 325. We are right in the distance next door. Walk by our sites and walk by our fishing hole, which is right where we requested to stay. There's the full hookup. Sewer, water, and electric and cable. And from here you can walk to a comfort station. Walk through the woods, which I don't recommend. It's very knobby here with cypress knees from cypress trees. Here's an example of how rugged it is, but there are trails through there. There's another empty site next door. These are all the same type, called preferred because loops 100, 200, and 300 are closest to the launch for Fort Wilderness boat to Magic Kingdom. And also the Settlement Trading Post, General Store, Pioneer Hall, Trails End Restaurant, PJ's Takeout, and Tri-Circle Ranch Bike Barn. Show you our sites real quick. There is my friend John Genesise from high school. There is his big bus, Bluebird bus, and his awesome decorations. John visited me here last year and was so impressed with my decorations and the environment here. He went nuts after Christmas last year and loaded up on very classy decorations. There's that bus. 1982. Bluebird, the bus company, makes RVs in a field for a small amount of money and fixed it up over the years. He's had it over a decade. Thank you. He's got Copman for decorations. And my friends, Amy and Steve Gustafson, Amy Chrysler, and that's our golf cart. And we're actually behind there. Cruise America rental. They just joined us this week. Didn't even know they were in the area. Here's the rest of my decorations. Santa trailer has a little flat. Camper hit it today. I'm trying to keep it up. It's not been easy, but so far he's somewhat surviving. Very disappointed. The guy cut the corner quickly. He was in a rush, had his jacks out on a fifth wheel, and boom. Friends are busy back there. Won't bug them. I want to show you our fishing hole. We've been hanging out the past few mornings doing fishing. May come over tonight. They got all sorts of smaller fish if you're going for small things for kids with small hooks, sunnies and bluegills, but they also have big bass. Guy caught like a 3-pounder this morning, and there's a deer, a couple deer. This is the main dam that controls the waterway levels in Fort Wilderness. And also the secret fishing, not so secret, is pretty busy this morning. You can take your cart up to here and then walk over the bridge. And beyond that dam is Bay Lake, world famous Bay Lake, that Walt Disney saw from the air in the 1966. Decided this is where he wanted his new resort. And all the real estate that they can do, all the things imagination could think of. Deer, zoom in. Oh dear. And that raised shed is a bat cave. Hi dear. And that's how they control mosquitoes here. Bats and sophisticated ways they don't talk about. Disney magic. Zoom back out. Beautiful evening here. It's about fishing time. You can fish here in the corner of that dam. I've done well here. Smaller bass. If you want the bigger bass, they say go into Bay Lake. And on Halloween weekend, I saw a young kid catch about a 10-pounder. I'll put a picture in the chat, and you tell me how big it is. I caught like a 3-pounder that day, and his was 3 to 4 times the size of mine. That's the famous dam. And that road goes all the way around to Bay Lake. You can walk all the way down the beach, or follow a trail the segways and maintenance vehicles take. And it's a fun thing to explore the 750 acres of pristine wilderness here at Walt Disney World. In Walt Disney World Original, as I always said. And we're going back out to our site and we'll sign off. Back to the show. Friends are having fun. We'll join them in a second. And there's our site. That's Loop 300. Preferred campsites. To our neighbor, wave, hey! This dog is awesome. Back to the show.
Hey, we're back live. Welcome back. A few shout outs there. First off, some preview of Christmas decorations. Obviously, they're much more impressive at night, so stay tuned for our closing tour of some serious decorations in our loop right there. And that was just a taste to get you warmed up. Shout out to John Janasitis, who's now watching. And John, I'm next door in the Carrollwood Pacific Room of Wilderness Lodge, where we have a great venue for the broadcast. And John came and visited me last year, visited the Keys a couple times for fishing. And then visited me last year at the campsites and totally got inspired. Went on a buying spree after Christmas, and you see his awesome camper, Bluebird camper in his campsite now. He put me to shame this year when it came to decorations. So, although my Santa trailer was bigger before it got hit, John. John, we'll see you in a bit for dinner. William Gauthier, great question. Hoop-Dee Review. Let's talk about what's different at the fort right now. Hoop-Dee Review, world famous dining show, fun at Pioneer Hall, which is right in the settlement area by Bay Lake, by the boat launch to Magic Kingdom. That's been on hold since Disney shut down in March, and no prediction when it's coming back. The cast members were laid off in recent layoffs. Disappointing, because it's the longest running dinner show since 1975 that wasn't canceled. The show has not been canceled yet. The performer's been laid off, so we don't know what's going on. But to have 2 people in a room, long time yelling and screaming, will not happen during this health crisis. So until this changes around, that show may or may not come back. The boats are running to Magic Kingdom from Fort Wilderness. Be patient because of distancing. You may have to wait a boat or 2, so give yourself plenty of time. Getting back and forth takes longer than anticipated. They're doing their best running extra boats, but it takes some time, and that is the best way to get there still. You could Uber to Bay Lake Tower, walk over, or bus from the front, but the boat is the way to go to Magic Kingdom from Fort Wilderness. Trails End Restaurant still closed. It was a buffet before closure of Disney in March. It is now closed, and PJ Southern Takeout is open. Meadow Pool Snack Bar is open limited hours. And they have, the general stores always have kind of grab and go kind of snacks kind of things. Trails End is expected to reopen as a family style restaurant. We're waiting for an opening date. We don't know. Those are the main things going on. As far as other activities that you didn't see so far, I will cover horse trail riding in a minute, show a quick video of that. And then carriage rides. Carriage rides with your carriage decked up as a beautiful, beautiful Christmas garland with the Clydesdales and Percheron show horses they use in Magic Kingdom. That takes place at night. Plus you can tour the Tricycle D Ranch from 10 a.m. to 3, and they have pony rides there for little ones, or the bigger kids can go on the horse trail rides at the front by Reception Outpost at Trailblaze Corral. You gotta see the Tricycle D Ranch. I covered it in previous shows and live feeds. Make sure you catch my live feeds for this week for more in-depth view of some of the decorations. And as always, like my pages and friend me on Facebook if you want. The new ranch is gorgeous, And the Horses, you can walk in there from 10 to 3 and check that out. Park in the parking lot for Pioneer Hall with your golf cart and then walk over. Or when you get off the bus, there is an internal bus system in Fort Wilderness, 3 different lines that you can follow. And that gets you around if you're not in a golf cart. You can take the bus to Settlement Depot and just go the other way. And the brand new barn's right there. Check it out. You got to see these horses. They are absolutely beautiful. So those are things that are happening, and as you're going to see here in a little bit, it is a wonderful place to stay, but not just camp. Camping of all types is welcome, from tent to major RVs to rigs like John Genocida's, and to the monster biggest RVs they make, like 45 feet long. But they also have cabins, these 1-bedroom, 1-bath units that are more for the people that want to just kind of the fort feel, but want to stay in a beautiful place that's really luxurious. It's considered a moderate category for Disney, and they are nice and hold up to 6 people. So check out the tour of the cabin coming up. This is where same cabin we're staying in tonight. A quick story is I was going to book a cabin and kept putting off because I want to get a new feed for you guys to show. I decided to book it this morning at 6:30 and got a floor resident discount. Actually, pass holder discount, floor resident discount available too. Booked it by 5:30 a.m. and did my online check-in, was notified by 6:30 my cabin was available, and went right straight there. Never went to reception. I was going to go to reception and negotiate with them, but it was available online, which I could help you with as a Disney travel agent. If you need to reach me for any Disney planning, 305-453-9208, dave@davesdisney.com. So how did that happen like that? Well, when in the check-in, I put in we'll be there before 7. If rooms are available, they've really stepped up their online system to ensure people go direct to rooms. So an hour after I booked it, my cabin was available, and this video is taken from this morning that you're going to see in a second. Before I move on, since we're halfway past the hour, thank you again for being on the Enjoy the Journey Luxury Travel Show here on Radio A1A and Cruising Country Radio, Facebook Live, and our YouTube channels. Thank you for being, as always, subscribe to those channels to get updates when we go live. And I want to thank our Radio A1A partners out there and also on the simulcast to make sure you watch the live feed later. It's already available on recording, as all of our live feeds are on those same channels. And thank you for being on the simulcast today on the audio channels. So next up, Fort Wilderness Cabin Tour. My first visit to Walt Disney World 2005. My friend Tony Baxter, Rich Schroeder, ESPN cast members in the past, got us in, put in this cabin, and I fell in love immediately. They've been redone in 2015 with brand new appliances, brand new everything inside, and they are just a wonderful place to stay. Check them out.
Owner of Fantastic Endeavors Travel Agency. Good morning from Fort Wilderness. We just checked in, early check-in, like 6:30 a.m. check-in to our cabin to show off for our travel show today, 2218. We're here at Fort Wilderness, mid-December, the holiday decorations, and wanted to experience a campsite and a cabin to show it off for our channels and show. Comes with a nice deck and table, good for barbecues. Oh, there's the grill. Bring your own charcoal or buy some of the general store for a premium price. They got 2 doors, and these are basically 1-bedroom units with a full kitchen, as you see coming up right here. They were brought here in the 90s to replace wilderness homes. Before that, they'd rent out like Airstream trailers and Fleetwoods. Everything is that kind of old Western decor. Love this painting in every cabin of the old Fort Wilderness Railroad, which was here in the 70s. I'll talk about in the show. Old Disney transportation. And that's a pull-out couch. And Mickey's here for 2 people. Nice flat screen TV. The cabins were redone in 2015. All 365 cabins were completely refurbished, hard refurbished, which means not just the core. New floors, new appliances. They were a bit rustic. New furniture. Before 2015, they were a bit rustic. And when you get the full accoutrements of a full kitchen. Look at those nice mugs. Nice vaulted ceiling. Microwave, full refrigerator, and real silverware. Look at that. Hot plate. And again, you saw the sink, coffee maker. This is considered a moderate category for Walt Disney World. There's Bambi. Hey. Full bathroom, full shower. So it's basically one bedroom, one bath unit, 500 square feet. Sleeps a family of 6 people. You got 2 in the pull-out, 2 here, and then bunk bed. Now, and with Disney, any kid under 3 can be in a pack and play. Love the decor. As I said before on my feeds and shows, this was my first accommodation at Walt Disney World back in 2005. My friends booked it because they were cast members and wanted the most affordable way to squish 6 people in a unit, and the cabin was it. And the upgrades made it real nicer, bigger bed, better decor, improved decor a little bit, the flooring, and flat screen TV, closet space, a little storage up there where the water heater is, safe, plenty of storage for our family or some friends. Love it. Fort Wilderness cabin. There is numerous loops, 8 different loops, 365 cabins. Highly recommend it if you want to experience Fort Wilderness, but do not want to experience the camping type atmosphere. You have to be around all the amenities and hang out with campers, but stay in this beautiful accommodation. Back to the show.
Hey, what'd you think of the Fort Wilderness cabin, the New Age decor? So it's my first tour with my Steadicam, came out real well, and that's where we're staying tonight. Very excited about that. So the cabins, you saw the benefits. It's the most affordable, bigger unit property on campus. Anything with a full kitchen by far. Normal rates run about $450 to $600 a night in the holiday season, maybe as low as $300 something a night with discounts. Like right now, you can get December for about $350 a night, $325 a night if you're a pass holder or Florida resident, plus taxes. They do charge you parking, $19 a night, but sometimes they don't charge you, or sometimes you can talk your way out of it. You get one car in its own parking out front, as I showed in the beginning of that tour, and they also have a parking overflow for additional cars in your party. Those are the benefits. There's 7 different loops, 365 cabins total, 850 campsites at Fort Wilderness. The downside of even campsites and cabins, if you don't have a golf cart, is you're relying on the internal 3-line busing system in Fort Wilderness to get you around. And it runs pretty frequently, but you're still waiting for buses to get one place or the other. Some people don't like that. They feel far removed there. And some like Animal Kingdom Lodge is far removed, but gorgeous lodge. Well, Fort Wilderness is gorgeous, but if you want to be like walking distance to a theme park, this is not the place. There is the boat to Magic Kingdom I talked about, but the bus stop is really not walking distance from where the cabins or the campsites are. So let's keep that in mind, that there is a give and take there. But to be in these beautiful cypress trees in the wilderness, as you saw there in the morning feed, we back up to a field. It is a phenomenal experience. I highly recommend them, and I can help book them for you here with my travel agency. I'm a Disney destination specialist, always here to help. So see more people comment in the chat. Thank you guys for being on. I was always like and share. I put a comment what your favorite holiday destination is for decorations. Mine is Fort Wilderness. Leading up to some nighttime tours that we did, I'll show you for fireworks. If you want more in depth, I did a nice live feed last night. Check that out on my David W. Hartman page. I also shared that to Dave's Disney if you're following me there. And that was a good 20-minute feed live from our golf cart, which is fun. How do you get a golf cart? Well, there's multiple ways. The easiest is from Disney, and they have a way to call, one number to call. Make that as soon as you make your reservation, because they do go quick. My friends came in this weekend, 2 different friends came in, and they're hanging out at the fort all day and with their families, and they couldn't get a golf cart. They were all taken up because the weekend really takes all the spots. They have far less golf carts than campsites. There are outside providers that, like Kenny's Tea Time, and they're good, but you have to go meet them and drive their truck and trailer in because they can't deliver golf carts in the fort, but it's far cheaper and you can guarantee a 6-seater. As you saw in my video, you saw our 6-seater golf cart. I put on waitlist for that, and they don't guarantee it. Arrive early that day you want to get it, and they'll get you one, but not guaranteed. Kenny's Tea Time can rent you and guarantee you a 6-seater. Kenny's Tea Time makes sense, I would say, after a week, maybe up to a week and later. besides that, you're kind of splitting hairs and it's not worth the hassle. So the Disney golf carts are fine. They're electric. They're governed to 14 miles an hour. They're fine. So that's how you get around, and that's what you want to do. And one big change now, for years you can make a golf cart reservation as anybody and go tour the decorations around the campsites, as you saw in our first video about our loop 300. They just changed that very recently, where now you have to have an on-site reservation in Fort Wilderness to get a golf cart, because there's too much demand from outsiders, and the people who stay there can't get golf carts, and they don't want to use an outside provider and deal with that hassle. So keep that in mind. You have to stay in Fort Wilderness to make a golf cart reservation, and do it as soon as you make the reservation, and I can help you with that if you want to as your travel agent. Next up, I'm going to talk about briefly on activities, and then we'll close out with the famous tour of our campsite decorations at night. Horse trail riding is a big part of Fort Wilderness. They have multiple departures a day, and you can come as an outsider. There is parking outside the gates to take advantage of this tour at the front by Reception Outpost. And John Janisides' grandkid and a friend went today. We took a quick little video we're going to show you right now. This is the trail riding horses at the front by Reception Outpost, and it's called a Trailblaze Corral from Tricycle D Ranch. Check it out right now.
Fort Wilderness, Trailblaze Corral.
All right, we'll come right over here and get you some stirrups.
That is
Your
Kinsley,
horse today, his name is Max. So that's gonna
John
be your
Janisides'
name on the
granddaughter.
stirrup, okay? Do you have any
And
info?
she's going horseback riding.
Say Max, can you do it? Oh, Max, can you do that?
And Tricycle D Ranch Trail Rides has Trailblaze Corral.
This is his sweater. Okay.
Next, our friend Katrina's coming on. Overall, Fort Wilderness has about 100 head of horses here, between the show horses, the pony rides, and then some of the work horses they use around.
While we're out there on the trail, we're gonna be walking this little mile. Have you ever ridden a horse before? Once.
Getting their instruction.
I want you to hold in two hands. You want to ride above each green. Above the green. There you go, just like that. To turn back to the left, you're going to pull your left hand to the left. Turn back to the right, you're going to turn your right hand to the right. And he stands on the other side of the trail, but he is not allowed to speak. There are going to be a lot of other rights out there, so make sure you're keeping your left rein really far back towards you. If you try to go left, grab a snack. There's also a lot of green grass, okay? Your job to not let him eat on the trail, okay? Some of those plants don't make them feel very good, so you want to make sure they don't eat. So if you see him turning left or right towards the bushes, I want you to stirrups at all times and both hands on your reins, okay? And do you have any questions for me? No? All right. If you think of anything before we go, you can always raise your hand and we'll come over, okay? All right.
They're going horseback riding. Have fun.
Kinsley, smile.
For our grandparents.
Do you have any questions? Do you remember his name?
Yay. Have fun, guys. All rides continue at Tricycle D Ranch Trailblaze Corral. Here come our riders, Kinsley and Katrina. They're very excited. Beautiful horses. The trail ride begins. Have fun! Bye, Kinsley. Bye, Katrina. Kinsley has a Disney haircut. Have fun.
Alrighty, guys, off we go.
Yay.
Trail rides are great at Fort Wilderness. One of many activities you can do. I hope you enjoyed the video there. I've done the trail rides myself a few summers ago, and it's a nice loop separate from all other parts of the fort. You only see it doing this trail ride. It's fun. It's a 45-minute tour, very easy. As you saw, kids of most ages can do it. Little ones, they have the pony rides now at Tricycle D Ranch down by Settlement Depot, down by Bay Lake, and that's my friend Tim Padre's family just did that recently. So I appreciate you guys watching that. And again, Fort Wilderness is 750 acres of activities and fun. Most people, like I have two friends now staying next to me, and they're there actually just not even going to theme parks. They're just camping out because it's a phenomenal campground with a lot to do. And if you're just joining now, rewind this when it's done to see my tour of Meadow recreation area, because that tells you the list of activities that you can do. And obviously during the holidays, Halloween and Christmas, is staying on site, renting a golf cart and going to see Christmas decorations, which we're going to show you a little bit of right now. It's just a fun activity, and it was nice to see John Genetiles and his family last night really hooping it up on their golf carts as they followed me around the different sites, and their excitement for the first time seeing this unbelievable display of decorations. Again, the show's winding down, so I got a brief little tour because I want to cover the whole fort today and the things that show you that are different and what's going on. Look at my live feed and David W. Hartman page, my personal page, for a feed from last night for even more outlandish decorations from Fort Wilderness. So next up, I do want to show you, I took a tour of our loop, and it all decked out for Christmas, including our decorations and decorations by John Genetiles and Dawn Genetiles. And check this out, because this is how it looks at nighttime. This is how your site could look. And yes, if you camp out, you can decorate. And you can use as many blow-ups as you want that fit in your property. There are restrictions as far as how far from the road and how tall. As far as I can tell, no one pays attention to those restrictions. And some sites that stay for a month or longer will absolutely show whatever they can on their property and use all the power they have. You have two outlets, one by the front, like a 30 amp, and then a 50 amp and a 30 amp in back. Plenty of power to run, and people try the best to maximize their power out. One guy is notorious for actually dumbing down his RV so he can run more blow-up dolls, like 100 blow-up dolls on one site. So, and before I lead into this last video, actually I'll review rates at the end and then kind of wrap up. After you see this little nighttime tour of Christmas decorations, here's what you waited for. Here's what it looks like at night. And this was our Loop 300, which has been great since the beginning. We've had some great neighbors with decorations. Check it out right now.
David Hartman, owner of Fantastic Endeavors Travel Agency here at Fort Christmas, Fort Wilderness in Walt Disney World. This is our campsite. Introduction to the campsite decorations around our own loops. We'll show you right now what we got. Here's my holiday trailer. Had that for a couple years. Bring it here every year and also have it on display in my house. We're here camping with friends who have a Cruise America. There's our 6-person cart. Golf cart for getting around, seeing decorations. Here's my new popping Santa chimney. You gotta love that. Look at that action right there. That's high tech. Then my high school friend John Genetiles is right across the way. Last year John came to visit us and took a tour on a golf cart, and this year he went all out. Check out his bus. It's actually a Bluebird RV, 1982 model, redone, beautiful. John's the man. Let's give me a quick little tour of our sites. John's using the corner very well, which you're allowed to do here in Fort Wilderness. There's his Mac Daddy golf cart rental, gas powered. He had to pay a lot of money off site to bring one here, a lot of money, because he knew a golf cart was a requirement. We have a lot of people staying here between us. His wife Dawn did a great job with the hanging tree lights, very classy decorations. These are just a couple sites. These are our sites. Next we're going to show you up a couple different neighbors. We're going one way down 300. This guy was here on the way in. We have a very good loop. Loop 300 at Fort Wilderness is not known to be the best for decorations, not the biggest sites. And then this guy here, I don't know why he's in a campsite. I think he's just taking up space. This guy is music. No one has seen him in days. Actually, no, I take it back. First day here, we saw him on a stepladder. Check out the action on the left-hand reindeer blow up. You hear all the engines running. And these are the dipping reindeer. That's a classic that you can't find anymore. To keep that working is a lot of money. Look at that. Oh, they're here. Got sand in the chimney, and the sand actually moves. Great sight. Good use of a small space. Oh, he's back there. Hey, all right. Big Santa. There he goes. Sand in the chimney. He's moving. Great sight, very well done. And then you can see more and more people are arriving. Some here are here until Christmas, some are here for the weekend. We came on Thursday night. Like, hey, blinking lights on the trees, awesome. Good use of a campsite configuration. We were here Thursday night, and more sites have filled in with decorations. And then to end our little tour here of our own Loop 300, I want to show you neighbors across the way. So back to our friend John Genocidas. We inspired this from him. I love the snowflakes in the trees. Look at that. Grinch. And there's my decorations. The Scooby's new. Gotta love Scooby. And then the chimney Santa's new. And these guys were here when we got here. Except for the guy on the left, I'll show you in a second. That's a tall ass Mickey. So what do you think of these? Put it in the chat, like and share us as always. Tell me what you think of these awesome campsite decorations. Have you been to Fort Wilderness? Have you seen the decorations here at Christmas or Halloween? You need help getting here. I can help. That's a big ass Mickey. I mean, taller than me. Very much taller than me. This Cabela's here I purchased from my dad a couple years ago. It's awesome. Hunting Santa. And this is just the few sites I'm walking to around our loop where we're staying. And as I wrap around, our neighbor had just arrived last night. Beautiful RV. Good deal on it, he's told us today. Nice guy. This is set up. Very nice, very spread out, nice lighting. They're still there. Hey! Another angle on the big Mickey. And this is our site. Give me a quick tour introduction to Campsite Decorating 101. Be bold, be proud, and go crazy. Do what John did. Because he went all in this year. And I'll end with my favorite. In all the years I've been coming here, no one has a holiday trail this big. The smaller ones, but no one has one this big. Merry Christmas.
That's our campsite loop. And keep in mind, this recording was done before my Santa trailer got taken out. Look at those pictures on my Facebook and David W. Hartman. And this was done my first night. It was my best short recording I had to show you guys. And again, if you want more in-depth decorations from some of the other loops in the campsites, check out my live feed last night. It was about 9:30 last night for about a half hour. It's really, really good live feed. Check that out. That's how it's done. I mean, the use of space by some of these campers, especially John, and that's how they do it. They squish as many as they can. As long as you stay within your lane, as they say, you're fine. And like I said, there are some restrictions about height, but that's being ignored. Brenda had a great question. You know, how do I guarantee a certain spot? When you make the reservation, use a professional travel agent like yourself. Disney Travel Company handles every site there. There are no third-party booking engines for that. It's a Disney-owned site, Disney-owned operation, one of the Walt Disney World resorts. And then you can call in the request. If you make it online, you got to call in manually and request a specific site and be very clear about it. And then you can reinforce that request before arrival. Or hire a travel agent like myself. It's free, but you do get my experience for free, and you pay the same rates as you would Disney. Disney is consistent no matter how you book, keep in mind, but you get my experience. As you know, I go up there quite a bit, including today. So that's how that part's done. As far as rates, about $125 a night to $150, $100 to $125 a night for the lowest partial hookup, and then full hookup about $150 a night, and then $175 a night for preferred, and then $200 a night for premium, and then premium about $219 a night, depending on the time of year and depending on promotions. Cabins run about anywhere from specials down to $350 upward to $600 a night during holiday times. And I can help you out with all the ins and outs of how you do that. It's been a fantastic show. Thank you guys for being here. We're at the top of the hour. Time to wind down. We got through all of our video tours, so thank you for your patience. Hope you enjoyed all the holiday reservations. As always, like and share this and comment. I always follow comments after the feed. I always rewatch every show and reply to everybody. Give me a question about Fort Wilderness. What's your favorite holiday destination for decorations? And as always, we appreciate your support and subscribe to our channels. Next week, we plan to be at Florida Keys Brewing Company, where Travis is tonight. And we're going to be doing a holiday broadcast from Florida Keys Brewing Company, Almar, Florida. We're still waiting to confirm that. So usually Sunday at 5 o'clock. As always, follow the show. If you just joined down late, thank you for being here. Join us and rewind and watch the whole show as we go along. Happy holidays from Fort Christmas, Fort Wilderness Resort. I appreciate Wilderness Lodge providing this great backdrop and the Carrollwood Pacific Room. That was a perfect broadcast for me for the show. We are just a stone throw away from Fort Wilderness, where we're going right now to have dinner with our friends John Janasitis and Amy Slicer and Amy Steve Gustafson. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Happy holidays. We'll see you next week from the Florida Keys.
Come on, what are you waiting for? They're serving rum up, it's right next door. There's a party on the sandbar in the Keys.